hijacked the rebellion, but if they ride the peaceful third party into a rat hole, that will only make it explode even bigger the next year.
It may not happen because of again, there's so many wild cards. What if we don't have net neutrality anymore? Then our forecasts are off. And by the way, Australia is now trying to pass legislation that will put them in the same league as China. So
they say that. They say it's Chinese style. That's their quote. Gerald, I'm skipping this break for stations. It's a network break, so we can skip it. I want to talk to Andrea, Frank, Wayne, Josh, and Joe. Guys, have your quick questions ready. But I want to ask you, any other quick trends for 2010 and forward you want to drop on us, Gerald Celente?
Survivalism. And it's not going to the hills with AK-47s or cans of pork and beans. It's at every level. Be prepared for the worst. You always could pull back from it. I'm most concerned about Terror 2010, the prospects of calling bank holidays, not being able to get your money, and it having devalued.
Absolutely. Let's take a call. Andrea in South Carolina, you're on the air with Gerald Celente, the top trends forecaster. Go ahead.
It is certainly my
Andre, excuse me. I'm reading way across the room. Go ahead.
I hear you, man. I wanted to thank you for waking me up 4 years ago, member of 9/11 Truth. My question is this. When we look at this disgusting terror attack, perpetrated false flag operation against the American people, can we look at the put options put on Delta Airlines? Because I checked the stocks last night, and they've dropped off 25% at least. So I think these people are so greedy that they bet against Delta, and that will give us their fingerprint. What do you guys think?
Well, of course they're greedy, and they'll do anything. They'll sell their mother. Hey, look what Goldman Sachs does, is they get you to buy things that they're shorting. So, I don't put anything past anybody.
Absolutely. I'm just hoping that if we can get that information out, the actual people who are profiting from this attack, that we can stir up the revolution that we need, man. We got to get these people out of here. Thank you, Alex, and thank you, Gerald.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your call. Andre, I got to move that screen closer. It's like way across the room. Let's talk to Frank in Ohio. Frank, you're on the air.
Hey, God bless, ex-non-vet. People are being too myopic and looking at stocks and things. I want them to envision and put a map. Most people don't even realize that Yemen is down at the south end of Saudi Arabia. And I want people to understand that this is a new world order global race and bid for power and power over the peoples and lands of places like Africa.
And well, it's that key port there right across from Africa.
Well, the bid to take over the areas, the Red Sea, the Gulf of Oman, the Arabian Sea. So this is divvying up what Moscow and Beijing must be laughing their backside off and drinking toast as our own Congress and FBI and CIA destroy, and Homeland Security destroy constitutional rights and Bill of Rights, and watch us just implode on ourselves like feeding frenzy on piranha.
Yeah, we are totally discredited worldwide. Everybody tried to give us a break with Obama. Now they're finding out he's even worse, and they give him a peace prize to make it a joke. Isn't this really the globalists setting America up as the bad guy, Gerald Celente?
I just spoke to a Russian correspondent that one of their colleagues attended the G20 meeting in Pittsburgh. They could not believe the amount of police control going on. It made them feel as though they lived in the most democratic society in the world compared to what they saw in Pittsburgh. This is coming from a Russian. So that's how bad it is over here.
Yeah, they're testing our police. They had cops looking for people outside during the day, and old women would walk out with bags out of a shop and go, "Officer, I just bought something," and they would release a dog on them. I mean, how did they turn the cops into demons?
Exactly, and this is what the Russians are saying, that they can't believe this is happening in America. Now, the other thing that Frank mentioned is where Yemen is, bordering Saudi Arabia, as we mentioned. Yeah, no. And now they're also, remember the Cole, the USS Cole was blown up.
It got bombed in Aden, yeah.
Now, 25% of the world's oil moves through the straits in that area. So if we have a terrorist strike, and again, Saudi Arabia, the U.S., the Yemen government are all involved in this. There's a civil war going on there. It's their second in 15 years. Rebellions in the north, in the south, religious, tribal. It's a mess. And what they're doing, and there's absolutely no evidence, even coming from the Saudis saying there's no evidence, they're blaming it on Iran. So put the pieces together.
I just wanted to point out, if people put the map out and this power under the guise of terrorism, watching our poor American and blessed American military, boys and girls, going into country without declarations of war, we're going to do a power grab in Iraq and on the other side on Afghanistan, and then run into Pakistan. So we do see the globalists in there dividing up and conquering and taking over. And
they've got a fake leftist in there to sell the left on going along with a warmonger worse than George Bush.
And putting climate control and taxes, national taxes on that. We can see how it's a power grab from both the American industrialists and using our boys and girls and military to do a power grab around the world, and it's...
No, that's exactly what's happening, Frank. I appreciate your call. And they think once they get us in these wars, we'll be like, yeah, we got to win the football game. We can't cut and run. In closing, Gerald Celente, people can subscribe to your great Trends Forecasting Journal at trendsresearch.com. We have links to that up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Of course, you are a big part of the Obama deception and my new film, Fall of the Republic. In closing, I wanted to ask you if you've seen Fall of the Republic. I think we mailed you one. I'm asking this, out on a limb here, and what you thought of that and the Obama.
I think it's great. I think your movies are terrific. I get terrific comments from them. I encourage everybody to watch them, and you're doing what few people do, and I applaud you for the brave stand you take. And I also want to mention, we know how difficult it is out there for everyone. And what we're doing, there's a discount request button. We try to make the Trends Journal available to everybody at any price they could afford. So please let us know. And Alex, keep up the great work. The feedback that we're getting from your CDs, the Obama deception and the Fall of the Republic, day after day we get them. Thanking you and thanking me and thanking all of those that participated on it for doing our part and giving people the courage to also step forward and to do their part, because that's the only way it's going to change.
Well, I think there's no doubt at the end of the day, we're in a fight for our liberties, a fight for our freedoms. There's a global corporate takeover taking place. It uses all these boogeymen to get us to acquiesce to tyranny. But thanks to you and many others telling the truth, there is an awakening happening. And I think time and history and the truth is on our side, Gerald Celente. I think in the end, we're going to beat these people.
Well, we either beat them or we go under. And I'm not for going under. So I say, let's win.
Gerald, thank you so much for talking to us. We'll talk to you next year, my friend.
Very Happy New Year.
You too. There goes Gerald Celente. We have our special guest coming up in the next segment, in the next hour, fourth and final hour, straight ahead, right here on the one, the only, GCN Radio Network. Stay with us.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Be sure to visit GCNlive.com today.
Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine and you can't feed yourself, will you go to the gathering center and be immunized? You wipe out all these problems if you have a good food supply. Food is your ammunition to fight for your freedom and your life. How much will you need? We don't know. How much do you want? All you can get. I'm Alex Jones. I want all of you good guys to